YB stays on your neck.
He's on my neck.
Andy Margin Boo Ruiz has made some more comments about his strategy against AJ. The title of this article reads, "I can't allow AJ to grow balls in there." His quotes go on to say, "I'm still the same Andy Ruiz. I'm still the same chubby little fat kid with a big dream. I'm still that person. Fight fans are gonna see the same thing they saw on June 1st. The guy with big dreams gonna go in there to dominate and to be heavyweight champion. Of course." I can't do it anymore. Of course, they're going to see a lot of fireworks. If he knocks me down, I'm going to get up and knock him down. I know he'll try and do the same if I knock him down. The main thing is to stay focused and disciplined, Ruiz said. He's going to try and make adjustments. I don't know if he wants to exchange punches, but I'd love for him to do that because I'm the more skilled boxer. He'll try to box me around and use his jab, but for how long? How long can he keep me away from hunting him down? That's what we've been working on most of all right now, heading into the fight. I want to impose myself in this fight, but I don't want to overlook him. He's still a dangerous fighter. I respect all fighters who risk their lives inside the ring. He's going to have some tricks up his sleeve, and it's my job not to let that affect me. The main thing is pressure, throw combinations, and use my speed. My speed, my movement, my combination. I can't let him grow balls in there. I did a video about this a day ago, about his trainer, Manny Robles, who said we cannot allow him to get confident. And this is obviously their plan. Not only has Ruiz once again reiterated that in these comments, we know this is the theme because Ruiz and his trainer are saying the same thing. When an individual is, or when two individuals are saying the same thing, that's how you know that's their strategy. Because two people don't say the same thing unless they've spoken about it. The universe just don't work like that. Yeah? Andy Ruiz and Manny Robles have told you. They're planning on look at the language Ruiz uses here. He says, "How long can AJ keep me away from hunting him down?" Ruiz thinks he's going to a party. Ruiz thinks it's going to be a Conor McGregor red panty night on December 7th. That's what he's expecting. To go in there, because I can't even blame him, to be fair. After June 1st, I'd be probably planning the same thing. Yeah, we're going to rock in there and everything I touch AJ with, let's get it right. Literally, more or less, everything Ruiz threw had AJ in some kind of trouble. It was almost unbelievable to watch. Every single shot he threw had AJ, or every single shot that landed rather, had AJ in trouble. And not only that, it was AJ's mannerisms in as much as constantly backing up just looked like a madness in there. I'm not even sure what it is. I'm just not sure, but so I understand where Ruiz is coming from. However, this is why it's so important, or I hope that AJ's team have worked this one out for themselves, but it's so important they don't listen to all the goofy people who think that AJ should be going backwards and trying to do something he's never done in his whole career. Oh, AJ needs to learn how to box. Oh, AJ needs to run backwards and box. Oh, he needs to jab, jab, jab. AJ's never done that in his life, ever. Now, people sit there and talk about the Joseph Parker performance. That there was not... It really frustrates me because if you watch the Parker performance, the only person going backwards all night was Parker. AJ was the one driving a jab, driving it into him, stepping forward with the jab. Now compare it to the Ruiz performance. He was kind of stepping in with a little jab and then stepping out and then backing up. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't committing with a jab and then looking to see what's popping on the inside. He was like almost Tyson Fury style. Tyson Fury, you don't see Tyson Fury stick a stiff jab in and then be on the inside and see what's going on. You'll see him flick around and chivvy off the bat. You know what I mean? Flick around, and then run out the back door. That's what you'll see him do. You don't see Fury commit with a jab and then look to use inside shots. That's what AJ does. That's what would have happened to Parker. AJ in the Parker fight constantly jabbing, coming forward, holding his feet. AJ wasn't running around backwards. AJ was the one dominating the centre of the ring against Parker. He was the one pushing Parker back, and rightly so. So even that performance there is almost a perfect example of how AJ should fight. He should always fight holding the centre of the ring and driving his jab. Actually, somewhat similar to Golovkin. But actually, yeah, Golovkin, yeah, in fact, it's similar to Golovkin. Golovkin, high guard, and he's constantly coming forward with the jab. It wasn't until Golovkin met Canelo in the second fight, that was the first time I've ever seen Golovkin go backwards. And what do we know? What turned the big bully off? Golovkin's known for driving the jab forward and then letting off big shots on the inside. But what was the remedy? What was the remedy to the big, strong, push forward fighter? What turned? How did Canelo overcome the bigger, stronger, aggressive fighter? What did he do? Hold his feet. That's the first fight he lost, in my opinion. Alvarez did. The second fight, though, he went in there, and all the bullying that Golovkin did about Mexican fighter and whatnot, that was ringing in Canelo's ears. And what did Canelo do? He got in there, planted his feet, and refused to go backwards. And 2-2s, what happened then? Golovkin, the big Mr. I Am, Mr. Mexican style, very nice, Mexican style. That dude there was the one running around the edge of the ring trying to be a boxer. All of a sudden, completely forgot about. And so the reason I bring that up is to say that that's what you have to do. And the great thing about AJ is against Ruiz is the fact that AJ is actually the bigger man. He is the bigger, stronger. He's not bigger and lankier. People say, oh, well, he's taller, so he should run around. No, look at them legs. I've just did a video on it. Them legs are called going forward. Them legs are called being planted. Them legs weren't made to be around on your toes and trying to be a twinkle ballerina. They just weren't. That's not how it works, unfortunately. And if he does think he's going to be a ballerina, he's going to find out in the 6th round when he runs out of gas. Because that's what will happen. That's just the way it works, unfortunately. When you've got that much fast twitch, it's impossible for someone that explosive to be doing marathon running kind of stuff. It just doesn't work like that. Anyway, so what I'm saying is AJ needs to adopt the same strategy. Now, don't get me wrong, Golovkin isn't the same as Andy Ruiz, but it's the same kind of principle. Andy Ruiz, a bully. Mike Tyson, a bully. Golovkin, a bully. The only way you beat them, the first time when Alvarez went in there with Golovkin, he tried to outbox him. Didn't work for him because he didn't put Golovkin under pressure. But Golovkin's great at coming forward. Mike Tyson, great at coming forward. Every single time one of these good coming forward fighters gets beat is when Holyfield stood still. It's when Alvarez stood still and AJ standing still. Not being stopped. I don't mean standing there and getting lit up. I mean, of course you can take calculated back steps, but I'm talking about that versus Ruiz fight. AJ was scaling the ring, literally not wanting to engage whatsoever and then next thing you knew, he was in the center of the ring, letting off massive combos. It just didn't look right. There wasn't enough. There wasn't an offensive flow to it. Yeah. And that's what AJ's always been great at, mixing it up. Dominating with a jab and then opening people up. And that's what he's got to do. And he's talked about it, to be fair. He's talked about how when he fought Ruiz the first time, he hadn't seasoned Ruiz in the right way. And that's correct. You hadn't seasoned him. Your jab was almost non-existent. It was a very low output fight. AJ and Ruiz, they were throwing like 25 punches. Bearing in mind, AJ's personal average is around 40. Bang on the heavyweight average at 40. If anything, if you're going to adopt a jab-heavy kind of strategy, you need to be doing 45, 50 punches around. Not 25. You're not going to stop Ruiz coming forward throwing 25 punches around. It's not going to work. You need to be doing 40, 45, 50, really. People like Tyson Fury, I think his average is something like 65 or 60 punches around, as an example. That's 20 higher, 50% higher than AJ's is. So if you're going to adopt that kind of jabby style, it's got to be pumping. You don't stop Mike Tyson, or to be fair, no one stopped Mike Tyson coming forward anyway. But to do that, your jab's got to be pumping. But I don't even advise that for AJ anyway, because AJ's, in my opinion, he's got a very particular body makeup. He's a hybrid between Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson, in my opinion. He's not as explosive and short as Mike Tyson, but equally he's not as long as the Klitschko and Lennox Lewis either. He's in the middle. Perfect, almost perfect in the middle. And we've seen that in his performances. The Klitschko performance. He was going jab for jab with Klitschko the first 4 rounds. But how he actually showed he was better than Klitschko wasn't trying to beat Klitschko at his own game. He said, you know what, Klitschko? me and you jabbing. I'm not getting beat up by you, but I'm not differentiating myself. What did he do? The last 6 rounds, stop messing around with all that jab business and ate him up on the inside. Now, that said, Andy Ruiz is renowned on the inside. Klitschko isn't that. The reason AJ was able to differentiate himself on the inside was because Klitschko isn't really known as a big inside. He's got a bit of a left hook, but that's about it. He's got one left hook. But AJ's, relatively speaking, towards Klitschko, he was much more devastating on the inside. Now, to be fair to Andy Ruiz has an ability to match AJ in the speed department. However, where he doesn't match AJ is the power. Where he doesn't match AJ is the strength. Where he doesn't match AJ is the height in that sense. All these different attributes. Now, if AJ can use them, now being tall, like I like to use Josh Taylor as an example. Josh Taylor is relatively tall. However, he knows how to mix it up on the inside. That's what you got to do. Being tall doesn't mean you can never fight on the inside. In fact, if you're good at being tall, it gives you advantages because you can wail over people. You can hang on them and bust them up. Like as an example, Errol Spence. I don't really rate him, but still, Errol Spence, he's known as a kind of taller fighter for his weight division. What does he do? He knows how to weigh on people and bust them up. And that's what AJ can do on the inside. Being taller isn't really a disadvantage on the inside if you know what you're doing. Josh Taylor, Errol Spence, other people as well. I can't think of them right now, but I think even Tommy Hearns was he all right on the? I'm not even sure. Scrap that. Let's stick with them two for now. Them two will do as proof for being good inside fighters. They're better than the smaller people, or as good as. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not being funny. In terms of combination punching and pound for pound ability, AJ, in my opinion, leaps above Josh Taylor and Errol Spence in terms of. AJ puts better combinations together than Josh Taylor or Errol Spence does. Do you see what I'm trying to say? He puts much more deadly combinations together. So with that in mind, he should be even more effective at it. Now, Ruiz, to his credit, he's got, I'd say, probably slightly faster hands than AJ, but he ain't got the power there. Yeah? He ain't got the power. He ain't got the power. He hasn't got that dig on him. That said, you've still got to be, you've got to know how to number one, tie up properly. I agree with that. That's a skill that AJ definitely needed to work on, the tying up. But the great thing is, all the little holes AJ's had, they're little holes, man. Learning to tie up, it's not a skill that, like, it's not a skill that's going to take years to learn. You can really, on a serious note, if you spent a month, it's a very tiny, like, it's a very tiny part of boxing. If you spent a month intensely, let's say maybe if you spent 20 minutes every day for a month, practicing intensely on grabbing someone or whatever, or holding someone, you'd learn that within a month easily. If you spent half an hour every day doing it, and that's not a lot of time. See what I'm trying to say? You could get that knocked out, and that's what I'd be doing, drilling it. All right, this sparring session, all you're gonna do is focus on grabbing your opponent. You're not gonna throw no shots. You're not gonna do nothing. The only way you can defend yourself tonight, AJ, is gonna be holding the man in front of you. Drilling like that, that's what I'd be doing personally, as an example, and I assume they've done that, because that there is, and Dillian White touched on this, that there's going to be a key part, and I agree. But not only that, what you'll have to notice, in the pocket, when you can mix it up well, you can kind of grab people so that they can't hit you, and then you can let your own shots off. I've seen that a few times. I'm not sure who's done that, but there's many fighters who, like, it's called, that's really, like, not dirty boxing, but that's like inside fighting, where you're grabbing people and they can't punch you, and then you let go of them and you let your own shot off. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You're mixing it up. That's what I see. That's how AJ can be a true hybrid, because he's got the height, but also he's got that short style of hooks and uppercuts where he can get off short combinations on the inside. Tyson Fury can't do that. It slaps too much. Wilder can't do that. Slaps too much. Yeah? And because he's taller, he should have a leverage advantage where he can grab Ruiz, but Ruiz can't grab him as such. But anyway, and also he's stronger. Ruiz, he's small and he's got a load of fat, but that ain't propulsive. That don't help you grab. Being big and bulbous, that don't help you grab no one. But anyway, listen, that's my advice. AJ needs to go in there with a, you know how, like, when Canelo fought, when Alvarez fought Kovalev, he had a very tight high guard. That there is perfect. Now it's tiring because you've got to have strong shoulders, but after all, that's what you've damn trained for. So don't tell me it's tiring, yeah? If your arms get too tired throughout a fight, that tells me you don't know what you've been doing in training. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to hold your hands up for 12 rounds. It's not. We've seen Canelo do it for 12 rounds against Kovalev, albeit a bit of a fixed fight, a bit of a whatever, but still, he held his hands up for 12 rounds. That's the facts. And that tight guard, almost, look, what's his name, couldn't do squat with it. Kovalev couldn't do anything with that guard. Now, that said, Ruiz throws more hooks, but hooks, in my opinion, hooks are even easier to defend than straight shots are, if the truth be known, in my opinion. Hooks, if you hug your ears, nothing's getting hit. And if you, simple as that. So there's no two ways. Hands in front of your face, hook comes, you catch it. Simple. It sounds simple, but the fact of the matter is, that there's the basis for it. Anyway, listen. Let's see what happens. Andy Ruiz, you must, or AJ must back this dude up. Give him a shock. He's expecting, he's already told you. He's already told AJ, please AJ, do not be aggressive. Please AJ, do not get confident. Please AJ. I cannot let AJ get any balls. He's told you that. That's telling you what he fears. He fears AJ going in there and sticking it on him. What he doesn't fear is AJ going in there and being a ballerina and trying to prove that he can box. Because proving you can box equals June 1st. AJ being instinctful, AJ being AJ versus Dillian White, AJ being AJ versus Klitschko, ended up with knocking out a man who's never been knocked out. In fact, knocking out two men who's never been knocked out. That's the truth of it. AJ's instincts knocked out two of the best men in the last 10 years. Dillian White and Klitschko, and Povetkin. And even the Povetkin performance, I reckon AJ could have been more devastating if the truth be known. Spent too much time. Even that fight was a bit too boxy for me.